What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to this rainy day. The last couple of weeks of winter before we're into spring, and all it wants to do is rain. First it snows, now it rains. This is great. Um, so we're going to be covering a lot of stuff today. I know I kind of went on an uploading binge. Sue me. But today we're going to talk about a lot of the upcoming news with our Disney trip, and we're going to talk about a little bit more about our spring trips coming up. Um, First things first, we've got a trip coming up in like a week. Like, I think 9 days. We've got a trip coming up on March the 7th. We're going to Six Flags Over Texas. I am really looking forward to this trip, man, because, dude, I've been like cooped up and quarantined and snowed in. So we got to do something, man. So, and I just like officially opened back up to work to normal just this past Monday. So, got to do something, man. I need some content. I'm legit running out of stuff to upload and talk about at this point. So, next Sunday we're going, and we're gonna make a video, and we're gonna get content for other stuff. So it's gonna be awesome. That'll be our only trip in March. Like I had said before, we're going to visit family the next weekend that we're off. We won't take any trips in April until April the 30th will be our next trip after the 7th. Will be April 30th. We'll be going to Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, and more than likely SeaWorld as well. So we'll probably do SeaWorld on Saturday, and then Fiesta, Texas on Sunday, and then come back that night. Good times. We haven't been to San Antonio since November, so I thought it'd be a good time to go and just enjoy being there. So yeah, April the 30th, SeaWorld, and Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. May's still quite a bit of ways away, so we're really not going to get into that too much right now because the plans in May have been subject to change based on what everything's going on. So we're just going to wait on May. But there have been some developments with Disney over the last few days. There's been a lot of interesting things that have been going on during that time. Let's talk about the park hours first thing. On a normal day, with the social distancing guidelines and the limited capacity of things and how they're all leveled out, most of the parks were normally closing between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Animal Kingdom would close at like 6 or 7. But like Magic Kingdom and Epcot, the two big parks, they would close at like 9, 8. So there's been a significant change starting this weekend. They're going to be open. They've got extended hours all the way through March. On the 28th, the park hours have been extended an extra hour at Magic Kingdom. And then March the 5th, we're getting down to where the Magic Kingdom is going to be open for a full 12 hours, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. This weekend, the Saturday and Sunday, that weekend, they're going to be open till 10 p.m. So they'll be open for 13 hours. And then the following weekend, March 9th and 10th, they'll be open till 8 p.m., just an extra hour. So the park will be open for 11 hours that day. Epcot, that same weekend, they're not going to adjust their hours on the 28th. I think Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom are the only two parks that are doing it. But they extended their hours by an extra hour. And then the weekend, March 6th and 13th, Epcot will be open for 12 hours. Right along there, I mean, that's pretty significant. Hollywood Studios, the 12th and 13th will be open an extra hour. And like I said before, Animal Kingdom, they're just going to extend theirs until like an extra 2 hours pretty much each time. On the 11th and 12th, The 11th is only open for an extra hour, but the 12th will be open for an extra 2 hours. This is a really big deal in terms of what's really in plans for the future with the 50th anniversary coming up this year. We've got our trip in June. But there are a lot of good things happening. In Epcot, they were testing fireworks during that time for the Harmonious barges. Those barges are set to debut sometime this year. We know that they're going to be fully working and operational prior to October, because it would be kind of pointless to have your very first show on October the 1st, which I wouldn't necessarily put it past them. But based on everything else that's going on, I'm just calling it now. This show's going to open up the beginning of the summer, middle of the spring, at some point. Some point in the very near future, the show's going to debut. It's going to open, and they're going to continue it all the way up until the 50th. Because I'm telling you right now, Disney wants to open their fireworks because that's how they get more money, and because they spend about $50,000 a night on fireworks and everything else like that. So trust me, they're going to want to make their money. And if they can find a safe way to be able to do it, then you better believe it, they're going to do it. Also, testing at Hollywood Studios was the Fantasmic, the Mickey Mouse nighttime show. That was testing as well. They were testing a lot of the lights. They were also talking about refurbishing some of the amphitheaters. They turned one of them, the Indiana Jones one, into like a mask-free break zone. That's pretty boring, but yeah, okay. But yeah, and they were going to refurbish a lot of these, but I think what they were doing is they were trying to set it up for social distancing. Amphitheaters are extremely easy to set up for social distancing because you can just close every other row. And you can tell people if you can't find a seat, then you got to stand up in the back, or, whatever. Which that's cool and fine and dandy. But I think Fantasmic would be a really good nighttime spectacular to kind of start out with, so to speak. You open that one first. You do a trial run with it. You see how it works. If it works good, then you move on to something bigger. Something bigger being probably Harmonious. Happily Ever After is something that we really want to come back before this summer, but it's just really difficult being of how big the show is, how big and how long the show is. It's almost a 20-minute show, and it's legit right there in the front of the castle in Magic Kingdom. So if you were to leave Magic Kingdom open till 10 o'clock and then you do a fireworks show, everybody that's there is going to migrate. Most of the people are going to migrate over to the show, so it's just really difficult to social distance with all that. And me personally, I don't really care. If you're afraid of getting the COVID-19 and you're going to an amusement park, you shouldn't go. If you're that worried about getting it, then you probably shouldn't go, because you're going to be around a lot of people that do not care. They don't care about keeping 6 feet. They don't care about being arm's length apart. They're there to have fun, and they're going to try to have some normalization return back to their life. So if you're that worried about getting it, save yourself the trouble and the stress and the worry and just don't go. Because you're going to be that one person that tries to say something to somebody, and it's just not worth just leave it alone. And just, if you're worried about somebody getting too close to you, just back up or whatever. Or be polite and ask them. Don't sit there and just tell them, hey, you better back the fuck up. Like some brain dead did at Six Flags Fiesta Texas this summer. We were sitting on the yellow dot, so we have at Six Flags, and, oh, you're not 6 feet apart. I'm on the yellow dot. Would you like for me to sit down on my hands and knees? I mean, what do you want to do? He didn't like it, so I told him if he was that worried about it, to go home. He'd be perfectly safe there. So definitely don't ruin the moment for everybody, especially with kids involved. So I don't know what they're going to do about opening this show, but it's something that I think is definitely on their agenda in the near future. So we've got park hours getting extended. We've got Harmonious testing fireworks in Epcot. We've got the Fantasmic testing. They were testing the lighting. They weren't testing the fireworks because there really aren't that many fireworks during the show. So they were testing that. So I'm calling it now. That'll probably debut first. Fantasmic will probably come back first, and then probably Harmonious or Happily Ever After. If they really wanted to do like a test run with Happily Ever After, they probably could. But I think they're just waiting on the okay. I haven't confirmed this, but there are people in Florida have said that they bumped up the capacity limit from 35% to 50%. So if that's the case, then we can look for a lot of things to start coming back. There was an email going out about Disney going through an extremely large volume hiring. So they're looking to hire a whole bunch of people. So that right there tells me if they're looking to hire a whole bunch of people, it usually means they're looking for cast members to hire for their shows. And if they're looking for a cast member to hire for their shows, that means that they're trying to bring a lot of stuff back. And that's what makes me think that Fantasmic is going to come back first, because there's a lot of different characters that are in that show that help out with all of that. So I'm calling it now. Fantasmic will probably come back sometime in April, end of April. I'm assuming Harmonious or Happily Ever After will be here beginning middle of May. It's really cutting it close because our trip is in June. If none of it comes back, we're still going to go. We're still going to have a good time. So, all right, man. That's going to do it for this one. If you enjoy the video, hit the thumbs up button. And we will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.